Welcome home. This is the Residency podcast. I am Jeff Tomasic with Drew Belcher and Lo Raven.
Yes, sir.
Bringing you the biggest guests and stories in entertainment, business, pop culture, and sports from our studio on the Las Vegas Strip inside the Mandalay Bay. Make sure to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. This episode is brought to you by Mandalay Bay. Absolute legends are performing in Mandalay Bay this month. Don't miss Pearl Jam at MGM Grand Garden Arena on May 20th. Big flex, big name. Love that. Wrestling is also back at Mandalay Bay with AEW Rampage at Michelob Ultra Arena on May 27th. Get ready for less distraction and more action. I like that. That's a good.
That's wild.
Did you write that? I didn't write that, obviously.
Oh, that's their tagline?
Yeah, that's the tagline.
Okay, God, I was about to say. Wow.
And if you want the ultimate summer vibe, Sublime is also heading to Mandalay Beach May 28th and July 2nd. Real classic. That's like
good.
Happy,
I'd go to that.
Happy vibe music. As always, come say what's up at our studio inside the Mandalay Bay Sportsbook anytime. We appreciate you guys. Hilarious, amazing episodes about to happen right now. This week we have the man behind the axe, the king of chopping wood. His social media is basically 50 Shades of Grey, the nature version. Thorin Bradley, welcome to the show, my guy.
Dude. I thought I was coming to Vegas. Walk in. I see my boy's haircut. It feels very fucking Reno right
You like
now.
that?
It is very Reno.
Very Reno?
I like
Dude,
that.
It feels Reno.
I
Biggest
love
little
that.
city right
I
here.
love
I'm
that.
surprised you're not the one dripping in denim right now.
I mean, go Rebels. Fuck Reno. But I love that. And before we get started, one, I'm a fan.
Appreciate it.
Two, please keep your shirt on.
Yeah, please. For all those
Three,
things.
don't pull your axe out.
Didn't bring it.
And four, you have to chill because my girl is on all these apps. You gotta tone it down.
No, I've never been uglier in this seat ever.
Oh yeah, I'm so happy I'm sitting on this side, by the way.
I'm usually the cute guy on
Dude,
sleep.
there's way too much hype going around, dude. That's wild.
Yeah.
No, but we are true fans, man. Love what you're doing.
This is going to be fun.
I'm excited, man.
All right, so what else are you doing in Vegas while you're here, by the way?
Well, one, where I live, I don't have any fast food. It's about an hour drive for me to get, anything exciting worth eating. No taquerias, no sushi. I don't have any of that shit.
Wow.
Now, I do live in California,
Okay.
but it's deep in the northern part of California that a lot of people don't really understand that. A lot of people have a misconception even of what the state looks like, dude. Because I think a lot of people
like
when they
your
think,
California is very different than like
It's
the
not a
commercial
beach of surfboards.
California.
there's a legitimate push to make my part of California called the state of Jefferson, which a lot of people are aware of. They've probably heard of it before. And when I tell you they're serious about it, there's people that legitimately, they don't consider themselves a part of California, dude.
That's wild.
Wait, what do you call it? The state of Jefferson?
They call the corner of California that I'm from the state of Jefferson. Not they, as in it's not recognized by a real
I was like, man, who the fuck is they? Who's they?
yeah, who's that?
He's letting them do
He's
that.
talking about you and your neighbor?
No. Well, yeah.
The coalition?
I'm not a part of that group, considering not part of California, but I will tell you this, dude. It's just such a different place. And when people think of California, they think San Francisco, of course, the tech industry. You think of San Diego and everything that's beautiful about that, LA, and maybe a couple of landmarks that you're familiar with.
Yeah.
Some people are familiar with the fact that Yosemite is in California. Some people don't even know that. But there is, of course, the coastline and everything. But where I'm from, dude, it's the most rural, wild country that all of America has to offer, really. I mean, it gets wild out there. It is super remote. It takes me about an hour, which is not, I know it's not the craziest thing in the world, but it's about an hour and a half to get to like a Walmart. I mean,
That is crazy. Because
it's California, right?
Yeah, don't preface that. This doesn't sound too crazy. That sounds, within an hour, there's 150 grocery stores.
100%. That's
Right,
wild.
so that's how I grew up. That's how I live now. Of course, there was a lot of gaps in between there that I'm not talking about, but it's awesome because the things that I've been pushing on social media, the things that I like to show on the TikTok side of things, those are really just complementary to the exact things I'm actually doing.
That's incredible.
So it's very easy, right? So it's like I think a lot of times people get lost in the fact that, oh, he's chopping wood, he's splitting wood for TikTok. No. He was gonna do that anyway, and I'm just imposing on the chores that I have to do with my everyday life, and I'm showing one of 100 that a lot of people don't know any of the other ones. I'm just picking a time and a place and a situations that's quite convenient for me that I know obviously bodes pretty well for video.
Yeah, for
But there's
sure.
so many other ones in there that I don't show, people don't know about. I just decided to impose it. Splitting wood, and I'm saying this in the most humble way I can. When I started splitting wood on TikTok, I'd never seen a splitting wood video on any social media platform.
Same.
Yeah.
The first fucking video that I posted didn't get 1 million views, dude. It got like 20,000 views, maybe, after the course of a couple months of it being up. But I just decided, hey, you know what? This is something I can film that's super easy because it's already part of my day. I'm not having to set up something different or
I'm doing
different.
10 ones a day. I might as well
Right.
shoot 10
Right.
videos.
I'm already dressed, and there's a big part of me because obviously I went to college. I got a master's degree. I lived in San Diego for a little while. I lived on the Oregon coast. I didn't always just live in the most rural part of California. I've been in and out of it. But the lifestyle that I'm living, it almost felt like sometimes, because I'm so deep into fitness, it almost felt like I felt like kind of a bumpkin, like a country bumpkin, to be showing myself in Carhartts, in work boots, in fucking suspenders. Because it's not...
The suspenders were key. You had the
wasn't
outfit, and you're like,
kitschy.
hold on, one more thing's
No.
missing.
Yeah.
No, it's
One
crazy.
thing's
It's
missing.
not even kitschy. It's just whatever I was already doing. And now you got kids reaching out going, hey, man, where do I get those suspenders?
Let's
I'm
go!
I'm like, bro, if you don't, or
Icon.
men reaching out, like, where do you get them? I'm like, dude, if you don't know, you're probably not the guy.
Everyone wants to
Don't-
wear Carhartt
don't-
until it's time to do
don't-
Carhartt shit. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
We got a gatekeeper here, everybody.
Don't you dare slide by a Mervin's or a Gottschalks and throw on.
Yeah.
You're branded out.
No, but it's funny because those are the types of things I didn't want to show social media for a while. I wanted to show that I had my shit together, dude. I was established in, academia and the fitness industry, and I tried to clean myself up a lot when I would do these photo shoots for supplement companies because I was in that world, in that space. And then a time came where I just got too fucking tired, bro. I got too tired to keep trying to like toggle in between these different personas and try to clean myself up for the fitness industry. So I was just like, you know what, fuck it, dude. Just put yourself as is. There's got to be a niche for whoever you are. So then that's what ended up happening. That's what we're looking at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got too tired, dude.
You know what's
I couldn't-
super cool, right? Is the people we've talked to that have kind of blown up or they've had things taken off on TikTok or any social media, right? It's when they become their most authentic self, right? Like, what's her name? Jessica,
facts, bro.
she's making food for her kids.
Right.
Or, like, you're chopping wood because you're going to be chopping wood anyway. Like, the
I
stuff
also
that
think you
it
blow
hits.
people's minds when people who aren't in that world at all, like when you think like, oh, what's a niche that I could do on social media, right? Like chopping wood is the 1,000th thing on my brain,
100%,
right? But for
100%.
you, it's like, okay, cool, it's your first. So when anyone sees that video and they're like, oh my God, like people really do this? Like
Yeah.
someone's really in
And
the
they're
woods
doing
right
it
now?
for real? Like
Chopping
you
wood?
like one of the most common questions, what do you need all this fucking wood for, bro? Why would you need this much wood? Who needs this much wood? That's the question every time, and it's an honest question, dude. But a lot of people don't understand
But what's the answer?
how much wood you go through in a fucking winter. Right now, my house, it is 27 degrees. Snow on the ground. I've been having a bear problem for like a week. This shit is like, dude, I had a bear broke into my back garage, and a lot of people who are listening to this might be able to associate with that. They're like, yeah, dude, I've had a bear break into my house recently too. It's a legit problem. I was scared to come here to leave my house because now I can't make sure the bear doesn't break in and steal trash. Like, that's my real life. It's an
That
everyday
shit's
life.
crazy.
It takes so many cords of fucking wood to heat a house, but I don't do it. I'm not selling wood. I just do it for one of the many chores it takes to keep my life moving with a momentous fashion.
Wait,
You know
so
what I mean?
all of the wood that you chop on social media is strictly for you?
No, I donate about 60 to 70% of it.
Stop the madness.
I
Donating it
donate
too? Amazing.
So as soon as I started making money, showing these videos, making these videos, having a good time with it, as soon as that started happening, I thought to myself, well, I don't have to sell the wood if I wanted to do a little bit of extra. I always take dead and diseased trees, so it's not the same thing as forest clearing. I legit have to have a permit. It is super important with conservation. I'm dead serious. Like, you literally, to keep the forest clean, you got to pull some shit out.
There's
sometimes.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
There's
a lot
rules.
of stuff to it. I'm not clear cutting, but I do think that now that I have this advantage, I don't have to sell any cords of wood to try to get a leg up. If I make, $250 on a fat viral video, instead of needing $250 for a cord of wood, I'm gonna donate that shit.
Yeah.
So I'll do a lot of people in these areas, like a lot of older couples or people who maybe are down and out and
Absolutely.
the guy can't get up and go chop wood. A lot of us are really still living in this world and using only wood for heat. And some people got to buy it. And some people don't have the $500 it takes. So if I can drop it
It's
off.
like the bear problems and using wood to heat your house. Like, I'm trying to
I know, it's
relate
weird.
so hard right now.
I know it's
Yeah.
weird, but like,
But it's
if,
awesome.
If I can, the other day, I was like, damn, I made a video popped off, and I was like, damn, I made like $300 on that video. I don't need the money for the wood now. I'm gonna drive up to someone's house and just drop it off, someone I knew, drop it off on their driveway, leave it stacked and go. And now it's kind of like this feed forward mechanism where people who watch me don't have to pay to watch me. It's not OnlyFans.
Sure.
Yeah.
It might feel like it sometimes.
When I was trying to make this thing, I was
Like
like,
the one with the fucking watermelon I did.
watermelon
Yeah, I saw that
was
one.
crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
bro, you're showing your toes for free. Swear to God, didn't know feet were such a thing. That was just, it's
You'd be
a thing.
surprised.
It's huge.
literally
It's
a
literally
thing.
huge.
By the way, why aren't you doing an OnlyFans? You're talking about making $300 right
No.
now. You dropped that watermelon video on OnlyFans.
Dude, I think OnlyFans could be lucrative. I think it could, but one of the issues I have with a lot of the process that I went through to get my master's degree and go to school and stuff like that is a lot of the driving, motivating factor behind me putting in so much time into things was money. And I started having this really unhealthy relationship with money where it was this direct lifestyle where it's like I got to put in that, the Gary Vee lifestyle of like, hey, I'm going to grind. And if I don't have enough money, the excuse is I just didn't work hard enough.
Sure.
So you start making this in like really detrimental connection for yourself mentally with how you're doing in life and how much of that is financially relevant. You know what I mean? So I got to a point where I was like, I could do an OnlyFans, but with that 10 G's a month or however much, 10 G's a week, however much it was. Yeah.
10 G's
Yeah,
a day,
yeah,
pal.
yeah.
10 G's a
Well,
day,
I'm
pal.
I'm not going to be showing any taters, but
Doesn't matter, bro.
like
Toes.
however true.
Toes.
No matter how much money it is, bro, you'll just adjust your lifestyle to come to meet however much you're making.
That's fair.
You don't ever feel better about how much you're making after that first paycheck. Once you get that first big one, I know it feels good. But I did get to a place recently where I was like, dude, I can go sit at any restaurant I want and sit down and not worry about what the bill's going to be.
Yep.
That is probably the only thing that ever got better in life as I made more money. Nothing else changed.
So, by the way, everyone's always curious about this. So you're talking about it now. So we'd like to ask because we get this question all the time from
Every
all
day,
the
yeah.
guests that we have. Now that you have 5 million plus followers on social media, how much money do you make from this? Are you making a lot of money? Is this your main job?
This is going to blow a lot of minds. It took me 7 years to get a master's degree in exercise physiology. When I graduated, I had, I promise this is going to end up making sense in a second. I had a lot of accolades, man. Student of the year, graduate student of the year, published in the American College of Sports Medicine. I was getting ready to go start a PhD somewhere that was going to be free and sponsored because, like I told you guys, the effort in kept being, okay, it's just going to be
Right.
that next step. And I finished my master's degree, and I was like, fuck, when do I start my PhD? And then I knew something was wrong because I didn't ever spend a moment just celebrating the fact that I had accomplished something. It just ended the second it was over. What do I do next? So I was like, okay, well, obviously I shouldn't go get a PhD then because I'm clearly not doing it for the right reasons. So I became a strength and conditioning coach in the NCAA for a Division I sports program. I was a strength and conditioning coach making $50,000 a year.
Okay.
49 maybe.
Okay.
In California.
So one
That's
only.
poverty,
35.
bro.
So
So
nothing.
one OnlyFans video, copy.
That's poverty,
That's
bro.
not.
That's not. I mean, I'm young. I don't have kids, so obviously you can live off that. But you're not living a lavish life, dude. You're, and this is recent, dude. I'm talking a year ago. I was doing this exactly a year ago today was my last day as a Division I strength and conditioning
let's
coach.
go.
Wow.
So when I started TikTok, when I started social media, even my first social media account was Instagram. Getting my master's degree in college because I didn't grow up with social media.
Right.
So I was new to all
crazy.
this shit.
Yeah.
So I was a fucking savant when it came to the information I was ingesting, but then I came to this new world of technology and social media and shit, and I was kind of
No clue what's
Lost.
Yeah,
happening.
like, what is all this?
an algorithm. I didn't understand, but I knew that I had a lot to talk about because so many people are constantly fighting tooth and nail all the time to have a platform to speak from or have enough people to speak to. And then they get there and they're like, fuck, I don't have anything to say.
Right.
I have nothing to say. I
No
haven't
value
lived
to add,
anything.
yeah.
I haven't done enough in life to have any experience. I've just been working so hard to have this platform, and they get up there and it's like fucking dead air, bro.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the total opposite. I already had so much time and life experience. I've lived 3 different lives, dude. Like I pushed myself so hard, and then social media came about, and I was like, fuck, I got some interesting shit to say.
Yeah.
A lot of information I can give people. So I was like, during COVID, of course, when the athletes had to go home, I was like, this is probably a good time to try to increase my presence on social media and get a little bit deeper into the fitness modeling that I was already doing. I was like, I can push this a little harder. And then it led to, wait a second, TikTok is so hyper viral. You don't have to find a brand big enough to promote you. You just become the fucking brand.
Facts.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, what's my goal? My goal is to go get to a certain point where Nike will pay me $500 to wear a pair of sneakers on one video, or to become the guy that can make the product, make the item, make the whatever it is, and then those brands are going to be the same size as me. So now brands reach out to me with less of a following telling me what they can do for me. I'm like, no. I can do more for you than you can do for me.
100%.
That's not enough
Yeah.
money.
The whole game
That's
flip,
not
for
enough
sure.
money. And so it got to this great place where I started out making like 50 and at the university, to be clear. After 3 months of COVID, I was making my same income through social media that I was making at the job. So it's like, okay, 50-50, let's match it. I'm still scared because every parent you've ever interacted with in your life says, well, where's the insurance?
Sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah,
Where's
for
the
sure.
retirement plan in splitting wood? There's no retirement plan in that. But you go through all that, man. You kind of
Is this sustainable?
discredit yourself.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
discredit yourself for the work you
Yeah,
put
this
in.
can't last, or this is
Guess
weird.
what else
Yeah.
can't last? I got a fucking probably 6 nights of sleep during that entire pandemic because I was worried that there wouldn't be college sports for another 2 years. Why would they need a strength coach for that?
Yeah.
Sure.
So what
Exactly.
what was
If
stable
not
at the time?
competing,
Nothing was fucking stable at the time.
Yeah. Can't
So
put
I'm
all your
like,
eggs
well,
in one
then-
basket.
So it kind of just got to that point where I was like, well, dude, this ain't scary. This just feels like more of the same. So I just push. And then once I saw that the steady income had increased twofold, I was like, I'm fucking out.
Yeah.
That's it.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
There it
Yeah,
is.
so when it got twofold, and that was a while back, but once it got to that point where I was making twice what I was making doing that, and no disrespect to that university, I can put that on my resume now, and I was a great fucking strength coach, and I learned a lot. But anything that requires more time and trade for no more money,
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense.
you just
It's
don't
an
value,
easy
you don't-
equation.
You don't value your time enough if you're doing that to
So
yourself.
you said that you want to become the brand. What's now that you've built this massive following, people go nuts for your videos. Like, what are you thinking about putting out products?
Yeah, so I have an app, and I put all this. Fitness is crazy. So if you download my app, it's called Oak, but it's spelled OHK. On brand once again.
Okay.
No,
On
but
brand.
if people download it, they get custom macros from me. They get to interact with me and ask questions about their health and fitness stuff. If someone's got tight hips because they have a desk job, they can email me through there and just say, hey, what can I do? There's therapies, there's workout programs, there's all this stuff on this app that I built with this expertise. But now instead of helping Division I athletes just perform better on a field, I'm helping, George lose 180 pounds in the next 2 years because he just wants to not have diabetes anymore.
And live better, right?
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's this weird place where I'm now finding this meaning in what I'm doing, but I'm also the boss in the brand and the push. And now I'm finding that the TikTok thing, which is great, a lot of people only want to come see you for 15 seconds, and that's
Sure.
okay.
Yeah, it's real.
And the fact that can be lucrative too is all right. It's like getting a tip as a waitress. Like the part where you get the tip isn't your only income, but it is like a nice little tip to have the TikTok thing. But it is my own billboard.
Yeah,
so
you
people
keep
want to know
having
more
people
about this
checking
guy.
in with you
Right,
all the time.
And then someone goes, hey, I really like what this guy's about. What is there more to him, or is he just a fucking Chad that is just taking his shirt off all the time? Because that's how I come across. For sure. I get it. I'm fucking dude. There's only
By the way,
so.
you put Brad in your screen name.
Dude, they fucking don't even know my name's Thor, bro. Like it's the coolest. It's my mom blessed me with the coolest name in
It
the
is a
world.
rad
Sickest
name.
fucking
The
name.
sickest name.
It's
but
fucking sick.
They blessed me with the coolest name in the world, and people. There's only so many combinations of white men with beards and tattoos that you can get to before you just assume it's a Brad. But I'm not a Brad. I'm a Thor.
Brad,
And-
Chad, or John?
Yeah. Oh, and I fucked up because when I started on TikTok, I put my last name dot first name because that's what you do when you're making an email address, bro.
Yeah.
That's funny. Mine's belcher.drew@gmail.
That's what you're doing when you're. Oh my
That's what
god.
you're doing. So you put your last name dot first name, and now people go, and good people who are genuine fans, and they're not doing it out of spite or anything, but they'll be like, Brad, you're killing it, and I just want to get in there and be like, dude,
It is a
it
double
burns me
first name
inside.
though. Like
Yes.
you don't really know.
Yes, and we're doing my mom such a disservice not calling me Thorin or Thor, which is my first name.
Yeah.
Damn, I've really messed up. If
It's
I
a
could
great
backtrack
first
it.
name.
But
It's a
now
great first name.
It's been too long now, and people just know the Bradley.Thor. I can't change it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
But that's
wild.
another layer. So that's a good sort of, I would say, representation of what I'm also going through as someone who worked really hard to put themselves through a master's degree, to learn all this stuff, to become an expert at something, is that I don't have this burning desire to prove to people that I'm really intelligent.
Sure.
I just wait, dude, because it's not a flex. I don't need to prove in a 15-second video that I've got intelligence. People who just get more interested, they can
We'll
find
dive
out.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they'll
can
dive in
find
and dig
out.
for
Plus,
sure.
by the way, it just looks like you're having fun.
Right.
So you can just have fun on social media and do something you're good at, and also people like. I mean, it's just.
But I feel like that's a new element to his thing too, right? Because at first he'd be frustrated, break the thing, and just walk off. Now he gives a little smile, like, huh.
Oh no,
Did
he's
it.
playing. He's
I
playing
did
the
it.
crowd.
Oh, he's got it.
All right,
I did it.
hold on. So we have some funny.
Double
We have some
entendres.
questions. We have some questions.
Okay, yeah,
One,
let's go.
you're chopping wood in the forest. Like, is this like literally at your house? Are you going down the street here?
So where
Is
I
there a
live,
stage, a sound stage?
it does kind of have that vibe because it's just so pristine. No, I live, like I said,
Is it a green screen?
I live at about 5,000 feet elevation, so I'm surrounded by forest. It's mostly pine trees on that side, but a lot of oak, a lot of cedar. And then what backs my property right there is BLM land and a little bit of national forest. So you'd have to look on some sort of map that actually tells you the Forest Service land and all the maps and everything. But essentially what's going on is you can cut wood in those areas. You can fell trees. I can climb and drop trees for a neighbor who maybe needs a tree that's not threatening their porch anymore if I need to help somebody out, or clear out a cedar that fell during a storm. But essentially all I'm really doing is I'm just helping maintain the forest. But the closer and further we get along this journey of people getting electric everything, or pellet stoves instead of wood-burning stoves, or you have people that work in the tech industry in San Francisco who want to buy this crazy remote cabin and then up the prices and then replace all the old wood-burning stoves with, modern stuff. What starts to happen is our forest continues to get really overgrown. And then you have forest fires that get out of hand because you can't let real fires go anymore because there's fucking cabins everywhere.
Yeah.
So we have this weird battle now with nature where if we don't get in there and maintain something and pull out some of these trees, it gets out of hand. And I'm only, people are like, how much wood do you have to chop? This guy must be deforesting his entire area.
One
It's
guy
like, bro,
deforesting.
you have no idea how much wood is in one fucking redwood tree.
By the way, the general public thinks chopping
It's bad.
like the three of your videos, like this guy's chopped more wood than anyone else in the world, right? Like it just looks like no one's chopping wood.
No, it's
like,
a regular thing.
Yeah.
It's a regular, dude, it's a normal ass thing. The only difference is that the reason why it grabs so many views and eyes is because clearly I'm not what most people expect to see doing that as a genuine chore. And I think even people who don't know anything about that lifestyle can see it and be like, okay, no matter how much you want to challenge it, there's a degree of authenticity that you can't ignore. You can feel that clearly this motherfucker does this all the time.
Yeah, and he knows
Very
what
good
he's
at
doing.
chopping wood.
He's
You
very
can at
good.
least tell that part.
yeah, for sure.
And then that's how I paid my way through my master's degrees. I did a lot of arboring type jobs. It's how, because the school I went to was fucking private. Every kid's driving a Beamer. And I'm over here with a 1995 Tacoma that's clapped out in
Tacoma.
4 cylinders. And I'm just trying to pay for a pork chop tonight. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So to pay my way through school, I was like, well, I'm good at arboring, so I'll do that. I'll do manual labor for small jobs here and there just to be able to pay rent so I can get through this master's degree and never have to work with my hands again. And then I found out that not working.
and then I'm just gonna do it all the time.
But now it's like so back then we rewind back, I use a wood splitter because it's a professional job. You need to get a certain amount of work done for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And now I reintroduced it because having worked a desk job, having worked in writing, having worked in corporate wellness for a little while, having done all these other jobs, I realize it's fucking toxic as hell to not move and have some sort of physical, laborious challenge in your day. And if you don't have that, we start to build up these really weird ailments and anxieties and depressions when you're not having some real challenge in your day every day. So I was like, I could, obviously, everyone can hear this. I may not be rich. I can afford a fucking wood splitter, a hydraulic wood splitter. I choose not to because there's got to be some parts of my day that are still manual and challenging because I know without a doubt if I go out there with an axe for my 3 to 4 hour, need to get the wood splitting done, if I go out there with it, I know I'm going to kill it. I know I'm going to do fine, but I know it's going to be hard. Mm-hmm. So if you get that small challenge done in your day that you place in front of you, for some people it's just the gym or a squatting session.
Sure. Yeah.
But if you get it done, you walk away with it with this genuine sensation of fucking momentum.
Yeah.
Where you're done with it and you're like, dude, now what?
Yeah, an achievement.
I really want to I just want to
I'm
give it a
hyped,
shot
bro.
right
I'm
now.
fucking
You gotta be
hyped.
careful. You will literally chop your fucking shin off.
Yeah, I
if you
don't
know
want
what you're doing.
I don't want him
don't
to
wanna
film
do
it,
that.
but I do want to.
Yeah. Oh, we're filming it.
I don't want any filming. All right. Is anyone with you? Like
When I'm doing it?
Yeah.
There's sometimes where I'm in groups with I'll be out there with a couple of friends or the unnamed camera person, which we'll reveal in the future one day. But yeah, it's the same person that helps me with a lot of the fitness content that I create. Okay. It's the same person that's very supportive on the business side of things. But it's a very personal chore in the sense where whether or not the camera was going to be there, I'm going to be out there either way swinging.
Love that.
So when people see videos, they're usually seeing that last hey, I could use your help for a few minutes just to get a couple of videos for this, but they're not seeing the 7 and 8 hours of labor before it, and I'm not going out there to get wood just for a video. If they like, I hear I'm in Vegas right now. I'm not gonna get any wood chopping videos today.
Damn.
We might.
But people,
We have a surprise after this.
who's gonna
Get
chop
to
a
work,
table?
pal.
Chop a poker table. No,
Do your boys ever mess with you a little bit?
yeah, they do.
You get some nice wood chopping rows from
What
your
up,
buddies?
axe boy?
Yeah, dude, my boys all work manual labor just like I did, and I was the only one that went to college. And I just made them sound like they weren't capable. They were capable. It just wasn't ingrained in us as kids. So I live rural now. The way I grew up outside of Yosemite National Park, small town called Groveland, California, was about 40 minutes from me. But that's all I can tell people that I know, because when people ask where you're from, you got to name something.
She's a coordinates.
That was the
35 north, 25 west.
That was the closest town. But I lived like out off the grid and shit. But that was the closest town. It's called Groveland, California, right outside of Yosemite. And all of my friends are from there too, and they all grew up doing the same shit as me. They're all very familiar with it. Half of them now work construction, a few work in wildland fire, and the rest of them work in some sort of emergency services. But college wasn't a fucking option because it wasn't told to you that it was an option.
Yeah.
So they just didn't go. And you don't get filled with that gap in time where a lot of us are just fucking off for 4 years or learning about what it's like to kind of integrate yourself into whatever world you want to be a part of. These kids are going high school labor.
Yeah,
Boom. It's instantly after. Or a few of them did go in the military and then come back, and then they got to start that process over again.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that I think there's probably a lot of people who grew up where you did and know no different and never want to leave. And it seems like you obviously wanted to explore the idea of leaving and did, and was like, you know what? Because there's no way you would go back if you didn't truly, really, actually like that life.
0%.
Because for the
100%.
majority of the American public, that would seem like a foreign country.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
you would go out there, you would be secluded, you'd be chopping wood to stay warm. Insane.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You would have probably like pretty terrible service. You know,
I didn't have cell phone service until I was 19 years old, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
you're just
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
just
And
spoke
like
a
I'm
different
old,
language.
enough, I'm old enough to have social media, because I'll say that. People are like, damn, how old are you? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I could have a cell phone. It's just a fucking brick when you don't have service, though.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
What are you gonna do? I'm not texting chicks at
Yeah.
17. Like, hey, you can't text, bro. You gotta like literally. And this sounds like an exaggeration. You gotta find some high ground to try to get a bar to use a cell phone.
Let's
Still
go.
where I'm at. So if
Wild.
you don't have Wi-Fi, cell phones aren't working out there.
So no DoorDash or Postmates or anything.
No Uber. No Uber. There's no Uber. Yeah, you're not getting an Uber out there. If you do, the dude's fucking the next Ted Bundy.
Don't get in it. Don't get in it. If you do, it's not an Uber.
It's not a real Uber.
If he says he's an Uber, it's not an Uber.
No,
He's
it's,
lying.
It's real, man. But there's most of America is that, dude. That's the crazy part. Like landmass wise, that's what most of America
yeah.
is.
You're so
no,
right,
for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Unless you said California, right? This could be Wyoming, West Virginia,
Straight
like
up.
all these different
All the
places,
time.
right? Like I would never know that was California just because of the landscape.
Yeah.
Right? There's
Yeah,
no
that
way
is
to know.
true. When you said where you were coming from, I was like, oh, wow. I thought, like, when you said you were flying
that
out, I was
sounds
like, oh, wow,
familiar.
this guy's flying out from far away for sure.
Yeah.
And
Close. It's
Close.
an hour and a half flight. Once I get to the fucking airport.
Hour and a half drive to an hour and a half.
It was a 2 hour, 45-minute drive to Sacramento. So people are familiar with where that is, to Sacramento. And then the flight itself, once you're finally out of Sacramento, I'm in Vegas in an hour.
Yeah.
all right, would you ever take this, like, wood? By the way, it's because we're talking about niches. You have this, like, you're this
You own it.
brand
Yeah,
on
you
social
own
media
it,
now,
for
which
sure.
is sick. I think it's really cool because you can kind of take this. Like, I love that you're doing an app right now, but I feel like there's, like, my brain is already thinking of 50 different
marketing.
directions.
I need that help, by the way.
of things like we've all built products in the past, a lot of
That's all
varying
backgrounds,
different
yeah.
ones, and that's what we all do. And I'm thinking to myself now, looking at you and hearing you talk, and like how personable you are, because a lot of people, especially in your videos, they're really visual, and you're not doing a lot of talking sometimes,
Yeah.
or you're just explaining what you're doing, which
Very
is
simply,
which
Or,
is
or
very
like knocking on the
specific.
wood and say, hey, this wood is super wet.
yeah,
Or
that's
Yeah.
about
that's
it.
right,
Yeah.
But like, you obviously know a lot, and there's a lot of niches within that niche that are like crazy,
What-
right? Like literally next week I have a soap brand coming out for you. I have a beard brand coming out.
Beard
for you.
oil. I have hair
Yeah,
products.
Like I have we're making 16 calls after this episode.
If my hair would look like yours, I'm buying that hair.
You got it, dude. You know what I mean? Anything you need. A little bit of blow dry and you're fucking good to go, dude.
But I think it's super nostalgic for people, and it fills this idea of like true Americana.
True.
Right, and I think that's what people connect to, where you're living this lifestyle and this image in a great way that people want to connect to and brings them back to a time that they've never experienced.
That's just foreign to them, though.
It's foreign.
Honestly, you get it in reverse. We living in Vegas all the time. People will ask us,
How do you live on the Strip, bro?
Because it's so foreign to them. They're like, oh my God, like you get to go to this place and that place, which seems really normal to us, or meet this person or that person, or get to interact with someone that they only see on
TV
or TV, and that's just really normal to us. So it's the core opposite for you. They look at you like, no, like, is that real? Is that possible?
Yeah.
And like, I think the infatuation with that, like,
It's wild.
world that they can't touch or feel, or maybe don't even want to, but want to look from afar.
Yeah.
Is,
Well,
like,
and
dialed
like you
in.
said, right? This is people that are super wealthy, right? This is their maybe one weekend in a year, right? They buy a cabin just to do this for a
True,
weekend, right?
true.
And he's doing this, he's living this.
Yeah.
Right? Like even when he posts like when you're eating, right, and you have like those little plates, like that's on brand.
Yeah.
It's like wow, that's in his house too. People can't
Yeah, it's
relate.
weird.
that
Are you
that's in your
making
house.
like one massive grocery store trip a week? Like,
You make big ones. Yeah, you learn how to make bigger trips. Like where I live now is reasonable because I at least 3 days. So I have a home gym. You guys have surely seen it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
slowly building it out because if I want to make gym content, I don't want to have to drive an hour and 25 minutes to
Jeez.
a decent gym. But on the flip side, since that home gym is not finished yet, and I'm sure anybody listening who's ever tried to build any home gym knows how expensive it is.
home gym company. Let's go.
Yeah,
Here we
no
go.
shit. But
Yeah.
But no, the
Ass
drive
workouts.
to the
Abs.
gym is a long drive. But if I'm already gonna be out there, then I knock out a bunch of shit on that list. I'll be out in town for 8 hours. I'll go to a real gym. After that I'll go train Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu, one of the two, with a coach because I like to keep up on that. It's another passion of mine that I have never shown.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah,
then-
you probably should.
And then after that, I'll go big grocery store trip back home. So you just make these things happen, but at the same time, it's like when I came into Vegas yesterday when I walked in the door, it took me like 4 or 5 minutes to just get my bearings when I walked in Mandalay Bay.
This is different than
This is a whole different
just
ballgame.
so.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not like, it's not like I spent my whole life and I've never been out. Obviously, I educated myself and did a lot of things, but this is not a regular part of my
But
journey.
consistency, right? Like your
Right.
everyday
Yeah.
life is so different.
And by every day, I mean, I haven't left the mountain, 300 days.
Guys,
Like,
we're doing a podcast on the road. We're gonna go see.
Yeah, we're gonna go to-
in his shoes, a week in our shoes. We're doing it
very
back and
different.
forth.
But you walk in the building and like, dude, the shit people don't even notice, I'm noticing everything.
Yeah.
The recess lighting, the fact that everything has a little touch here and there. Shout out Mandalay Bay because this place only feels like it's getting newer. But I've been here as a kid, but now as an adult, it's been even more years of desensitizing myself from all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And you walk in and there's people with their head down just texting, walking around.
Yeah,
I walk
very
into this
true.
bitch and I'm like, dude, look at how overwhelming the stimulus is. There's
Yeah.
so much shit going on. I went on Yelp last night, bro, to look for all-you-can-eat sushi because that's all I could fucking think about coming to Vegas was that I could get sushi finally again because I don't have it where I live. And there's 11 options within fucking 2 miles, bro.
There
and
is,
good
yeah.
ones.
For sure.
And good ones. The last time I saw sushi recently was at like a Save Mart. That was like some shitty.
No.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't do
but
it.
I would never eat it, but you
In
know
like
what I mean?
the little tin thing,
that's
like
my
you open
right,
it.
and that's an
Oh.
hour from home there. So it's like you just don't understand how many people are desensitized from this shit. But then if they were to flip the script and come to me like they do,
Yeah.
sometimes when people go out to visit the
They'd
mountains,
freak out.
they are just the whole time they're frozen.
Yeah.
So
It
it's
makes
good
sense.
for all of us to change that.
Of course.
But what I fear sometimes is that a lot of the conveniences of life turn us into these spoiled little assholes.
You're so right,
Because
yeah.
like I was in
I think I might be a spoiled little asshole, to be
Yeah,
honest.
but thank God for you guys because I was able to experience, coming to the Mandalay Bay and seeing all this awesome stuff. I wouldn't have done this for myself.
Right.
But I walk in, I go into the check-in, and you see everyone around just got their head down looking at a fucking screen, and you're like, bro, no one's absorbing anything.
Yeah.
It's
Not
very
sure.
normal to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're not
It is.
absorbing all the fucking chaos that is. Dude, the Vegas Strip itself could keep you visually entertained for if you just sat down and watched people
Oh,
and the things. You
that's what.
shouldn't need a
That's
fucking-
what
People
you
watching is
do. People
incredible.
watching is probably the best.
Would you
in the
ever
city.
take this wood chopping situation on the road? Like, would you need to do like a destination thing or
Like
something?
I feel there's like those conventions that we have here, right? Like
I know, or just like a new like backdrop, a new maybe a new state
West
or something
Virginia.
like that.
Yeah.
True. I think the next step in life for me, my next goal is to just continue to invest in land and property because I was lucky when my dad passed away that he did have that. He didn't have money because we didn't have it like that when I grew up, but he did have property, ironically enough, that he had inherited. So when he passed that on, I got to experience the fact that now I'm a landowner in Arkansas and West Virginia.
Amazing.
2 states I don't necessarily want to build a house in, but it was still cool.
Yeah.
And now my goals in life are not really financial in the sense where I don't want to stack gold.
Right.
What I'd like to do is I would like to own a house similar to mine in another state, maybe
Right.
Oregon,
Yeah.
maybe Washington, maybe, you know, whatever it may be, Montana. But these places where I'm probably going to live a similar lifestyle, let's be honest, when I'm visiting there.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if that becomes the case, obviously I'll show videos of that.
Yeah.
But I think my real calling in life right now is to make the fitness and health concepts that I learned through all those years of studying accessible to all different socioeconomic ranges. So that was my ultimate life goal, was to make it so that people didn't have to have $200 for a trainer to just get a workout in. I want to make it so that because obviously the PE fucking system has failed our entire country.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
no
sure.
one knows how to train themselves or just put themselves through an average workout or eat just okay.
I think
Just
every
to keep
PE
yourself in
coach is
shape.
overweight,
Right,
right?
right. Well, that's a whole nother.
When you say PE coach, what do you think? You think a fat dude with a whistle?
Yeah.
Not even PE coach, just general population.
But even he said it though. He
But
just
he's
said
also
it.
the
He-
science teacher
he
or
just
whatever,
said it, though.
too.
He just said PE coach because that's how we view him. But he should be
Yeah.
a fucking teacher because physicality is half your life. Half your life is to walk around, move around, stay healthy, stay upright, so your brain keeps functioning properly. Because you make no mistake about it, the only reason your brain exists is to move your body, and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's the only reason the communication happens.
Yeah.
So if one of them fails you, they both fucking fail you. That's why depression, anxiety are problems. So it's like all these situations we have boiling up, people just think they need to buy their way out of it, and some people can't buy their way out of it. But the sad part is the dude that's overweight in, you know, some rough neighborhood in East Oakland that doesn't have access to a lot, or some kid who's overweight for, you know, just be honest, it's a lot of children now, but who's overweight, it's come to this place where the knowledge gap is also a socioeconomic gap, so it just matches.
Yeah.
So people who don't have the knowledge to keep themselves in shape, which should be fucking free because it's free to run, free to walk, free to move your body, and cheaper to eat healthy. We could talk about that some other time, but all of these things that should be more accessible to everybody, they just don't have it because of the knowledge gap that's there.
No.
So my goal in life is literally at this point is just to make general health knowledge to be in good working shape, maybe not look like Jay Cutler, but to look in good working shape, should be cheap, if not almost free.
Right.
Yeah.
But people have to buy their way out of obesity now. Like, what
100%.
product do I buy from this lady who's been using these booty band workouts for?
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to buy a fucking way out of obesity.
100%.
But
Or
it's like,
you-
dude, it
An
should be-
easier way, a quicker way, a
Right.
faster
Yeah,
way,
yeah,
or
instead of
whatever
just
it is.
general knowledge, which is so crazy when people are like, well, I heard carbs are bad. It's like, dude, when's the last time you just picked up a bowl of rice and chicken and called that dinner? And that was enough.
Yeah.
But everything's so like we're talking about, so desensitized. Every meal's got to be a fucking experience. An apple, you're gonna tell me just to eat this boring ass apple and that's yeah, dude, that should be a fucking treat.
Yeah.
But you get to a point now where to get people to eat,
That's good.
to get people to eat fucking just
An
enough
apple.
protein
You have to have a
for the day.
cheeseburger on the side.
Yeah.
But you had apple instead of
Yeah,
fries.
or protein popcorn. Try this new protein popcorn. It tastes just like real popcorn. Or try this new fucking zero sugar version of this that makes it taste like a birthday cake, but it's actually healthy. It's like, dude, no one's just like keeping it simple, man. But no one knows how anymore because we've gotten so convoluted with everything that just to get people to just live a pretty decent, normal existence is not enough because it's not a treat enough. It's not an experience.
I think once you have I think one of the reasons what you're talking about is like when you said the sushi thing earlier is once you give someone sheer options and then those options get larger and larger and larger and larger and larger, it's just impossible.
How do you fight? How do you fight?
And
say
then
no.
life turns into a Cheesecake Factory menu where there's
Yeah.
200 things on the freaking
Yeah.
menu.
No,
And you're like,
seriously.
"Oh, I don't know, man.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
know
We
what to
shouldn't
do
go there. That
anymore.
place sucks. And I'm like, bro, I haven't had just a decent like someone else make me a cheeseburger at a restaurant in years. And it's not because I couldn't drive to it. It's just because that doesn't really make sense for my everyday to go put all that energy and time into that. When
Hour and a half for a
just doing
burger?
it-
Oh,
yeah, I don't
man.
think most people would do it either. I think that I position myself in the world that I live in because I prefer to make sure that those things are actually, they remain a treat. They remain enjoyable. They remain something I look forward to because I've seen so many people become so desensitized to things that really are special, bro.
Yeah.
Like people losing their shit because their Uber Eats meal took 17 minutes to get to their door. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. People are getting that soft and comfortable that they're getting to a place where they can't even just.
Dude, it's
"Hey,
just
man."
so normal now. Like
It
you
is.
would
It's
you
very
if you
normal.
talk to like the average just I know how you said like the rural
Yeah.
aspect, but like the core metro and greater metro suburban parts of the United States
Yeah.
now, which have grown just so exponentially, like that lifestyle that it's not weird. It's not It's just normal. That is
Yeah.
1,000% normal.
It's convenience. We still Postmate 2-3 times a week still.
And it's
okay.
Yeah.
I'm not, and I want you guys to know this. I'm not dogging. I'm not like the next fucking Ted Kaczynski, bro. Like I'm not. I'm not trying to
Locked in the wilderness.
I'm not trying to get people to back off of the teat of Western America. Or Western lifestyle. I'm just getting to this point now where I'm like, a lot of the issues and problems we're seeing with each other, the impatience, the people that are just so polarized by every single topic that comes across. It's just a lack of it's a flooding of stimulus and a lack of genuine quiet and interaction with just people on an everyday basis. And it seems so fucking cliche because I feel like there's some other guy in some other podcast room right now preaching about it, but people hear it, skip past it, and then go right back to the cell phone.
Yeah,
right
of course.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think just like you going back to the lifestyle that you chose, like the lifestyle that you live, right? It's unforceable. Like you can't, if someone does not want to be there, they are getting the hell out because they do have the option very quickly, very easily to go somewhere else. And if you want to be in there, you can be, but someone will preach it and hear it from you and be like, nah, not for me. Like it's just so, cause it's so easy not to. It's just, it's way easier to come here and pick up the phone.
That's a beautiful point.
That's
a beautiful point because one of the biggest things that comes up is like, well, I live in fucking, wherever. There's going to be kids that try it, and it's happening already where kids are trying to set up, and I love it. It's a beautiful thing, but people are setting up like campfire wood. They bought it at 7-Eleven outside of their in their yard, and they're splitting wood and having fun, which is great.
That's right.
Now that impact that I've had has been beautiful because it reminds me that there are young men and women looking up to the lifestyle that I'm living. But the unfortunate thing is everybody's missing the fucking point.
Everyone's trying to glamp. They're trying to go glamping, bro. They're not trying to
glamping
glamping.
for sure.
They're also missing the grand scheme message. The big message is not that the splitting wood itself. The splitting wood got big because I imposed it on the internet. I know that sounds cocky. I'm dead ass serious. If I would have spent that same amount of time on any of those other 100 chores I was telling you about, whether I wanted to romanticize my cooking process, whether I wanted to romanticize the fact that I go fly fishing all the time by myself, I want to romanticize the work that I'm doing on my car because the mechanic's too far away. Any of that stuff you want to romanticize, you can do it. The whole point of the message is there should still be some challenge in your fucking life that only results in a very basic return.
Yeah.
A very simple return, which is just you accomplished the task, man. That's it.
Yeah.
Someone else didn't do it for you. You didn't farm it out.
That it seems so easy for you to just not figure it out and pay someone $500. But if you don't have the access to it, then you're forced
to do
to,
it, right?
to
And
learn
then
it.
becomes,
And there's just a different perspective, right? Like you said, if it's in front of your face and you say, I could go on YouTube right now or learn how to do this task, or I could give it to this guy. I give $400 to this guy and just
save my time and sit on my phone.
Keep it fucking moving,
And what does everyone do with the time they save when they
watch TV or do
They
nothing?
look at you.
They look at you. They do nothing.
Fucking what?
I shouldn't.
This
sell
guy's
myself out
crazy,
there.
man. This guy's
How wild is this dude?
mind.
This dude's
Dude,
serious.
check out this guy splitting wood, man.
It's got to be Hollywood shit. Oh, that wood's got to be fake. This, it's like, I get it.
That wood's got to be fake.
Bro, you see him? You see the comments? And there's dudes that copy him now and are splitting wood and shit on TikTok.
Are there fake wood choppers?
I don't think they're fake. I think there's people that
not
are
fake, but like copycat wood.
that it's not actually a genuine. Like it'll be in a cul-de-sac with a clear lined fence around the back. Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
I'm sure if
Yeah.
you're gonna see it, it's gonna end up being some dude in the cul-de-sac with like a
Pre-split
line
from
fence. behind it.
Lowe's.
Yeah.
And you did say gatekeeping, so I want to be clear. I want people to impose all these cool things on their life. The problem is that you're not Thorin Bradley. So whatever your chores are in your life that are genuine and real that you actually need to accomplish, film that, be that, do that shit.
See, I think
I like
what the thing that I keep hearing about you, which is like blowing me away, is that you say the word chore. And I think everyone look at social media as like, what can I do
To
to
get the
get
clout.
views versus like
Everyday life.
Like, because to most anyone else looking at you, just because you live it, right? So
He splits wood for TikTok.
right, because
that's what you're assuming.
Immediately, I'm like, all right, cool. This guy split wood one day. It worked. He went back and did it now every day since, and it's destroying it. But what you're saying, like it being a chore that you have to do,
It's like laundry.
It seems so foreign to
Right.
everyone else who has like regular suburban chores
Mm-hmm.
rather than yours would seem normal to you, but very not normal to everyone else. But it seems the opposite. It seems like you found something that worked rather than you like that.
I imposed it. I just imposed it onto the world. I was like, hey, check this out. Check this out. It's still my decision to put the fucking video out there. It wasn't the internet's decision. No one hit me up before I made the first wood splitting video on TikTok and
but
said,
you got to split wood
hey, can
this
you
week,
split wood?
no matter what.
Yeah, I got to do it anyway, so it made sense. But
that's crazy.
But
crazy.
another important factor about the whole situation is like, it will get oversaturated because of the fact I found success in doing it. But what a lot of people don't know is I had 1 million followers on TikTok before the first wood splitting video. Before I ever posted one wood splitting video, I had 1 million followers on TikTok. You know what they were watching me do? Cook, clean, do chores, shit around the house because that's the shit I was already doing. Or a quick little gym tip or whatever it was.
Were you cleaning shirtless?
There's a lot of shirtless. Mostly shirtless.
Were you mopping shirtless slow-mo?
Dude, it was mostly shirtless videos. For sure. No, it definitely was.
I just hold on. I'm just visioning this guy like churning fucking butter, like shirtless. Or just
not that rule. Let's not get too. I wasn't a Mennonite, but no, I'm just. I try to reach out to some of these kids and young men, and there are some young women too that, of course, like to do the outdoorsy stuff and everything. Who are like, check it out, I'm splitting wood, and people be like, oh no, so and so's coming for him. Like, you don't understand. When people reach out and they're like
that's
my
a
boy
win,
just
though, right?
said, like Drew just said when he was like, there's people copying you. And what you don't understand, that just means one, the message that I'm trying to get across to the world about being healthy, outdoorsy, spending time outside is getting across.
Yes.
The subliminal message about the dude being in shape and I'm not on any exogenous hormones and now trying to make myself into some form of a sex symbol, but not being on drugs, that's also a great image for body image because now we got a guy who's not that big, but the world is still, okay, now there's this other niche. There's this other lane where I don't have to, shoot tests into my ass to be the third strongest guy in a 24-hour fitness.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest. People are putting their fucking life on the line. Like when taking steroids to do what with?
Strictly to impress other dudes.
Just to bench 50 more pounds.
Strictly to impress other dudes.
Or strictly because the body image you've been sold is so out of whack that you think that that's where you got to go. And that's not... Bodybuilding is a sport. If you're going to go deep, you got to do it right. So you're going to need those hormones.
100%.
I'm talking about the lane in between where it's like, hey, what was your reason for doing this again?
I had none. And I was on a
for
ton.
Your shirt, It's for your shirt to fit tighter. Well, I got good news. You don't have to put yourself at risk to still be, attracted to yourself, which is the most important piece of this whole message, right? Is just to feel confident enough and attractive. But my whole point is, dude, is like this is going to get oversaturated.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of copycats. There's going to be a lot of people who are like, it worked for him, so now I got to jump in this lane and use it for me. I've seen creators convert themselves into dressing like me, to look like me, to try to grow their beard out and do videos like me. But the point is that I'll always be in first place in my own niche because I'm the one imposing the videos I want to make. And what a lot of people don't understand is that my back pocket isn't more wood splitting videos. My back pocket is the fact that I own an Alaskan mill and I can mill down some redwood and build some fucking furniture and put that on the internet if I want. Or I can put fly fishing videos on the internet I want that are calming and ASMR. I could go back to doing mostly fitness-based content. The 4.8 million followers updated today is not because of the wood splitting. It's because I was just showing people what I do.
Yeah, for sure.
So people keep condensing it down to this product that worked for me and not understanding, dude, I was just giving the world what I was doing. The 1 million came before the first wood splitting video, and it's very likely that the gaps after this, when the market gets oversaturated with a lot of Bradley Thor wannabes, is just going to be me doing the next thing I want to do. So anyone out there who doesn't want to be in fucking second place is you don't look to other people for your content, dude.
Yeah.
Just make whatever you're already doing because you'll be able to do it every day.
That authenticity, man. I think that's it.
Huge.
I think that's
But most people don't. Most people do looking like everyone's always looking for what's
the
working.
trend?
Everyone's always looking for what's
What's
working.
the trend? But then when you make a trend, guess what's always guaranteed? You're always going to be the at best
follower.
the
Just
second best.
chasing.
You're always going to be the second best at it, and that's best case scenario. You'll be the second best because you'll always be the second one to do it if you're just looking to trends to do shit.
Yeah.
I have a question. When you started to get because look, views and interactions and followers are different. The engagement to your videos, do you ever sit back and smile and laugh at some of these the duets?
The duets
for your
are
videos
incredible, dude.
Are probably the
best I've
craziest
ever
thing
seen.
I've ever seen.
I have a pretty big fear of I don't really believe in Leo. What is that? Fucking the horoscopes.
Yeah.
I don't really believe in them, but here's the thing. I was born in August. I am a Leo.
I'm a Leo too. Let's go, Leo gang.
big
Let's
Leo
go. Wait, you're a
energy.
Leo too. Let's
Hell
fucking
yeah,
go.
hell yeah.
Hey, Jeff's the
look at
fucking nerd, dude. Hey, look at us.
Literally, look at
Everybody
us.
with your sun signs, relax.
Let's go.
No, I don't believe in any determinism with what time of the year you were born somehow determines your personality. But I will tell you this: I am vain to a fault, and I am very interested in feeling confident and loving myself and feeling healthy, and also feeling attracted to and it sounds weird, attracted to what you are as a person, what you're presenting as a person. That's a huge important thing to me. But I'm terrified of becoming egotistical. Because one of my most important things is that I want the confidence to rub off onto other people for them to want to also chase a life of sharing what you're proud of about yourself.
Yeah.
But what I'm very, very scared of is that I'll get to a place where I'm used to any compliment. Because I don't care where the fuck it comes from. A compliment is a compliment is a compliment. So if you ever get to a point where you're numb to that, then I will not love myself anymore. I'll be very angry with the fact that I let myself get there. So I do watch your duets, people who are making duets. I watch your duets, but I'm not. I'm trying to find a good place to come to where I can accept the attention, but not let the attention really change the way.
They have to
I
give you
view
a couple
content.
good laughs. Like some of them are hilarious.
Dude,
incredible.
There's been some good ones.
And it's celebrities doing them too.
The worst
with
thing.
the
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 worst
Doja
thing that-
Cat one was huge.
The Doja Cat one was wild because one, I'm a fan, even though I don't look like I listen to Doja Cat's music. I absolutely do. And that last album she did was one of my favorite like R&B pop albums that was ever made. But she's awesome. I was very flattered by it. I was actually sick to my stomach though for 2 days afterwards. I couldn't eat because it was so much attention, so much of a spotlight that felt like it was on me, that it put me in that same place I told you guys about, where I had this fear of almost growing bigger than your own ego, than your own britches, and then trying to catch up to it and being
Right.
like, oh, this is me
Chasing.
now. Yeah, this
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
And I don't like to live. So a lot of people were like, damn, how are you not sending that to family? How are you not reposting that? How are you not putting that on your on your Instagram reels and saying, look what Doja did on TikTok. Look, Doja recognized me. Look.
Yeah.
Instead, what I did to humble myself is I said, I don't deserve the followers that Doja has. She earned that shit. I didn't put the work in to become a famous R&B artist. She fucking did that shit. So if she went out of her way to give me that 1 minute of fame, that 1 minute of clout for a second, then I'm going to take that as the win and move on humbly without it and not continue to try to
Just twist it.
Force
it.
feed, yeah.
And milk it as much as possible.
Or use it as a fucking like stepping stone of somebody else's success, bro. She got there for a reason. The video popped for a reason. I got a lot of followers who are now awesome fans for a reason, and I appreciate that. But it's not my turn to now extort that and turn it into
Yeah.
more.
By the way, that's a pretty rare perspective on people on social media. So
It never
like,
happens. They
yeah.
always want the clout, the reshare. That is very,
You
very
suck
rare.
every ounce of.
But it's
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people need to hear that because I think they need to remember that it was her choice to make that video, and it was not her choice to go further. She did not slide into my DMs. She did not like reach out and ask for permission. She didn't then do it and then ask for any sort of me resharing to help her brand out or anything.
Right.
She did what she did out of genuine spontaneity.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what the fuck I just preached to you guys about for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is being spontaneous and just doing it as is.
Authentic, yeah.
I'm not gonna turn that around and then try to win off her. She already did
Yeah.
that for me. She
That's
patted
great,
me on
yeah.
the back, move on.
That was
and
a
then,
big win.
And then if I can stay out of that lane, stay out of that groove, and hop right out of it and not live from one success to the next, the very next day I woke up, it wasn't, oh, go watching her video 100 times. It was go right back to the fucking grind, right
Yeah.
back to the normal schedule. That was awesome. I got to revel in that feeling, but I wasn't trying to revisit it all the time because I'm not trying to live in yesterday and continue to live off the last success. I'm trying to make the next one.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was just important to me to not just ride that wave that I didn't even make.
So now that your following has grown considerably, do you find it difficult to handle real life relationships with your life being on social media?
No, but it's only because I put a lot of work into I don't like to talk about it. We're here talking about it, but I don't like to talk about it with family and friends.
Right.
Yeah.
I really don't like to talk about. A lot of people say, "Oh, that video you made on TikTok," and I'll gently and kindly, but I'll be like, "I don't really want to talk about
Yeah.
social media because I've known you since before social media, and I
Yeah.
prefer we view each other in that light." Because of the fact that although I love it and I enjoy the fact that I'm able to interact with so many people out there, everyone can fall victim to that fascination with someone having attention from social media, but it really dilutes your real world relationships if you keep talking about it, living in it, kind of living in
You
that.
have a personality outside of that, right?
Living in that area. So I don't like it a ton. And my friends, a lot of them don't have TikTok. Most of them don't. It's
I
not
could see that.
Not a super.
I could see that.
Yeah, not a super. Common thing in that culture. But I will say, like, just generally speaking, the ones who do, they do have a hard time not talking about it. And sometimes I really do have to like kind of throw some water on it and be like, look, I just want to interact with you as Thorin. Like, I don't really want to talk about someone else's duet. I don't want to talk about all this stuff, because if you want to see that, version of me, go there. If you have my fucking cell phone number. If you have my cell phone number, don't be DMing me on Instagram, bro.
Yeah,
just text me,
talk
dude.
to me
Friends
like
will
a
do
normal
that. Friends will do
person.
that. They'll be like, did you see that video I sent you? I'm like, bro, but text me. You have my fucking
Yeah.
cell phone number. Text me. And don't pull yourself out and turn yourself into a fan when you were already a fucking friend.
Yeah.
So if you're already that close with me and we have that good relationship, I try to do that with people who are fans all the time, where I come across one. I don't even like using the word fan, but I don't have another word for it. But I'll come across one who was struggling with depression and sent me an email just to say, hey, man, I don't know what it was about your videos, but it really helped me kind of pull myself out and realize that I could do a little bit more with my life. Guy will reach out struggling with depression. I'm like, hey, what's your cell phone number? FaceTime. Just hit him
Love
up
that,
real
man.
quick.
Let's go.
I
And
love
just
that.
try to, and it's also very humbling for me, because if the person acts surprised to hear from me, I try to bring them back down a little bit and say, hey, dude, I'm just a fucking guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm just a dude. Like, I don't know what you're expecting. It's been a year of this. I know it's been a lot of growth in a year to get this far, but I'm just another guy, and I need that humble, and they need that humble too, to remember that they don't need to be looking up at the shit I'm doing that they're capable of doing every single day.
But I think that's like why we do this podcast and why we talk to a lot of people, is that when people get to a following, or they accomplish a lot of goals, or they become, successful in whatever it is that they do, and you get to have a real conversation with someone, you see where they're from, what they do, and why they did it, you realize that everyone is just going after something similar as everyone else and just trying to accomplish it the best way that they can, and being really authentic to themselves, right? And figuring out that you are a regular person, because sometimes you immediately look at numbers and views and all of these things, or success,
status, yeah,
or,
status.
or businesses or companies or titles, and you just are immediately intimidated by those things. And I think a lot of what we've done on this show is just try to meet people that we would otherwise want to talk to, just because we think that
And have a
they're
convo.
cool,
Yeah. Have a
and they're
convo.
interesting, and we want to hear more about them. And I think the people want to know a lot more about them, because
You only see them
it
in that
can
light.
be a little
Yeah.
bit intimidating for no reason, right? And then you realize, you talk to someone, like, and if you walk past this guy in a restaurant and you tapped him and you have a conversation, you didn't know what they were
Right.
in their world.
Well, I've never been recognized in person.
Really?
Really?
No, and that's humbling as shit right there. Is like every space that I interact in the world, I'm sure just based on numbers, there's been one person, and I've gotten a DM before where someone saw me in San Diego. One time I went out to dinner with some friends, and I got a DM that said, hey, were you in Old Town San Diego? It didn't really make sense to me that you would be there, but were you there? And I was like, oh,
Not
yeah.
chopping wood? Are you out and about?
I was
Bro,
lit
is
on,
the forest okay?
I was lit on margaritas with a tummy full of fucking tortilla chips, just cruising around downtown Old Town San Diego. And this person hit me up, and that was pretty flattering and humbling. But generally speaking, dude, I live somewhere where people don't give a fuck about social media. In
No.
fact, it's kind of clowned on if
course.
you're taking it seriously. And I grew up in a very hyper masculine environment, and in the TikTok space, I'm viewed a lot from that hyper masculine lens of sort of that toxic masculinity. Look at this guy pounding his chest. But a lot of people don't understand, in my world that I grew up in, I shaved my legs. I started shaving my legs at 20 because I was doing the fitness stuff.
modeling, yeah.
That little hump to get over of explaining that shit to my friends and the people
Oh,
around them,
I can only imagine.
brutal.
dude.
It was brutal, and people are like, dude, are you fucking, bro, are you really going to start shaving your legs and tanning sometimes? I'm
Hey,
like, dude,
Thorin, nice calves, bro.
yeah. And I would try to explain, I'm like, dude, if you spent years and years and years on a fucking pickup truck that was a 1972, you wanted to look perfect, you're going to take it to the car wash and wax it before show, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Facts.
you just want to show what's there.
That's
all.
a good way to play it.
But when you break it down into that world, then people go, oh, okay, I kind of get it. Oh, when you make money doing this, then it clicks for people. They're like, okay.
That justifies a lot to people.
But it is true, dude. It's just that hyper masculine world. It was hard to get over that hump, but then in this other world, I'm not masculine enough. It's interesting because you're playing that line all the time.
Yeah.
The world I came from, there's a lot of shit I do. Like, of course, the fitness modeling stuff is strange to people. You're taking your shirt off in front of a camera, bro. What is up with you?
What are you doing?
Yeah, you see how many people are in the comments and it's over and over and over. But then in the TikTok space, it's like, look at this hyper masculine asshole, this toxic masculine asshole.
Yeah,
sure,
It's
for
kinda
sure.
different. Yeah, for sure.
Everyone's perspective changes what you are.
Well, since we've talked to a lot of creators who've been in the world for a long time, been in the spotlight for a short amount of time, and everything in between. by the way, I had no idea that you went from 0 to here in a year. So, I mean, congratulations.
Yeah,
also,
man.
I appreciate all you
Congrats.
guys for that.
yeah.
Thank you.
So, also, fuck you for doing it so well. So fast.
Yeah, what a dick, man.
But two, you know, that's to go that big that fast. You obviously have this share of positivity, like you were saying, and negativity from people because that's what the internet is. How quickly have you been able to digest that? Because as the bigger you get, the more influx of comments and engagement you get, the more negativity.
And the more drastic it becomes.
Yeah, like
right,
how
on both sides.
True.
do you handle that well, or how do you handle that?
I don't handle it too well because I wouldn't say a confrontational person, but I've always kind of grew up with just the culture I came from. But if you're gonna say something negative, there's gonna be repercussions for everything that you say.
Right.
Everything that you say is gonna follow you to school. It's gonna follow you to the bar. It's gonna follow you whatever. And of course, you're not in school and at the bar at the same time. But you guys know what I mean.
In college, maybe.
I had a couple friends that were able to get in, but yeah, you're living these lives like where it's like. It's very nose to nose with everything,
And in a small town
world.
too, right?
Yeah,
like you're
small
not gonna
town.
get away from it.
You're not gonna get away from
You'll see him
shit.
around the corner.
And we always handle it. Luckily I grew up in a world that is very akin to a ghetto in the sense where, or a bad neighborhood in the sense where you're gonna have to confront a lot of drugs when you're growing up because that's what rural America looks like. Ton of drugs, ton of problems, a lot of fighting. A lot of dangerous stuff, but the thing is that we never had gang problems.
Yeah.
So that changes a lot, right? Because you don't have that, the kids don't have that burning desire to get out because it's not really actually dangerous. All the problems are all kind of coming from
Making
the
your own
stuff
choices.
you're chasing,
Right.
your choices. But I will say, yeah, it was tough for me because when I first started seeing negative comments on the internet, I'm like, one for what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck are you this juiced up about, dude? It's a video.
Chopping wood,
Like,
shirtless,
Yeah,
chill.
you're kidding. Like if you don't like it, scroll. But that's the very common sense approach, right? Then the second layer is, whoa, maybe what I'm doing is making people feel a lot less adequate about the way they spent their last 8 hours.
Sure.
And when they see the fact, like, well, you can't honestly be in good shape and doing real hard labor. There's no way. It's all fake. You're just splitting wood just for videos. He's not real. He's not. And it's like, no. Here's the problem, is that you didn't wake up this morning, hit the gym, eat clean, put the time and energy into making sure all your relationships are healthy, and then finish the day with some more labor, and then also hustle to start your own business while finishing your master's degree. That's a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of people only did one or two of those things. So when the places where they're slipping and they don't feel like they have the other aspects, that's where they're going to try to stab.
Yeah,
so
for
it's just
sure.
that reflection, right? It's like that, well, obviously it can't be real. Well, no, I'm sorry, dude. It is real. But I get why you're coming from that perspective. So the negativity hit me hard because I had this constant desire because I'd never
Prove people,
experienced
like,
it.
explain,
to
explain,
prove to
explain,
people.
explain.
And then I woke up and I was like, what the fuck am I doing? All this stuff is the...
You can't keep up.
Yeah. Like,
can't
what are
prove
we,
it.
What are we doing? I don't have to prove to anyone I'm intelligent anymore. I don't have to... I'm over
I think it's
just
just
let
like
it
we're
go.
talking about you living your lifestyle and ours and it being very different. I think people, like, obviously we put ourselves out there, right, as much as we can. Like
Yeah.
we do this as like a job now and as a whole different side of our lives. And so we get positive comments, we get negative comments, just like anyone else on social media. But I think it's different to us. Like we laugh at a lot of them because some of them are hilarious, by the way. But
Yeah.
some of them,
Dude, there's some
some
jokes
funny
that
ones.
are funny, yeah.
But we're not the type of people, and as you're not either, to write a negative comment. So sometimes when you see them, you're like, man, really? Like,
Why would you say that?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because I would never want somebody to be like, I'm a hater or whatever.
Yeah. You look like
Waste
an
of
idiot.
time.
You're so stupid. You're the dumbest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
I hate your face.
you're advertising your inadequacies, and that's kind of crazy. People are willing to do that. They're
Yeah.
just willing to be
Yeah.
like, hey, look how bad I suck at all the other aspects of my life. I'm gonna come dig in comments.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna try to bring you down. But that's crazy. People are just willing to advertise that. It is weird.
Well, we also, I think it's funny, realize, once you do have some videos or whatever, you put stuff out on social media a lot, you guys how divided the internet is, no matter. So you'll get, we'll put out a video or a clip or something and it'll get 1 million views, right? And half the comments will be like, God, I was always wondering that. It's such an insightful question. Like, I always was curious about it. The other half, like, it's the dumbest question
You
I've ever heard in my
idiot?
life.
How did you not freaking know that?
You're the biggest idiot. It's like, obviously, it's this, that, or the other. And you're like, man, it's just like,
on, bro.
like, it's just so funny that, you can get answers or engagement in, like, total
Polarized.
opposite
Totally
worlds
polarized,
with
yeah.
different mentalities. You just have to keep doing what
and
you're doing.
Mine comes from it's funny that you wrapped it around to that because that's what I was speaking on when I was speaking about the polarization of what the world views as toxic masculinity and what actual toxic masculinity really is, which is changing the way you interact with people based on needing to prove you're masculine. That's what toxic masculinity is.
Yeah.
Is treating someone differently based on the fact you need people to know how masculine you are. Let's not make any mistake about it. But that polarization of how I fit in that box, that's what gets people really, really either aggravated or excited. Is the fact that they haven't seen a man doing something like this in a long time.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's real, they love to see it. And then there's the people on the other side that are like, well, that's not.
He's doing
that's
that
not
just so
real.
we can.
Sure.
Right. And so you get that balance, and that's where my polarization comes from.
I think also seeing you being successful at it is what makes people really, like seeing you chop wood is one thing. Seeing you chop wood and like have people like, especially girls, like swooning over you or making duets about you, and then you obviously making money on it because you're big enough is just like, oh, like there's something has to be wrong here.
Something
This
has to
can't
be
be real
wrong,
because I hate the fact that he's chopping wood and making money because I'm doing my regular job and I'm not making shit or whatever, Like a lot of people get that way.
Yeah,
because it seems so obvious after the fact, like, oh, you just chop wood and you have a lot of followers, right?
True. That's true.
But beforehand it seems like, hey, if before you came out, you told someone like, hey man, I think I'm gonna chop wood on social media and I'm gonna blow up. You're like, all right, dude.
Yeah,
Story, dude.
shut up.
Get out of my
Doubted.
face.
Doubtful.
Yeah, get out of my face.
Yeah, it is, and it's a weird concept to wrap your brain around. But in a year, it's going to be a whole niche. It's going to be a whole niche.
For sure.
Yeah.
It might already. I haven't really looked, but it might already kind of be considered one, I guess. And like, I'm not really super deep into pop culture or what household names are which or what or this or that. But I would say there's probably a pretty large chunk of America that's familiar with wood chopping TikTok.
Nah, you could for
now.
sure. I guarantee you do a live wood chopping show, you sell out.
Yeah, for sure. Nobody
Bro,
has seen. Nobody has seen
tickets?
it.
I bet you on your social media, if you did a live wood chopping thing, I swear on my life, in California, anywhere you want to, I say you sell 500 tickets off.
45
of it.
bucks?
Yeah, I was
Easy.
gonna
No
say,
joke.
almost 1,000.
Until people see the in between parts that are like, pretty soft, pretty slow, pretty
That's
just
fine. We'll get
quiet.
you-
just birds. There's not
We will
much
be
going on.
your
It's just awkward
MCs.
silences.
We'll be the MCs.
Yeah, we'll
It's
be your
true. That's how
Hey,
it
he's
looks.
loading up another stump, guys. Just give us a second.
1,000%.
That's funny.
I love the fact, real quick, that it seems like, and again, we've only been talking for an hour, but it seems like you haven't let it change you because we've had a lot of influencers on the show and tens of millions of followers, and they move out to LA and they say, in LA, especially these content houses and everything at these parties, your social following is almost like currency. It's almost like your validity. It's
True,
like if
isn't that weird?
you don't have millions of followers, you can't come into this party. You're
Right.
not cool. Or that little group of table over there is only for the TikTokers with 10 million plus followers, etc. And it changes these people. And the way I judge it is, if I have a guest on the show and I don't want to go have a beer with them afterwards, it's done. The relationship's over. And
feel
you,
that.
Yeah.
we want to have a beer with you after
yeah,
the show
yeah,
anytime.
that's rad.
And that's how we judge it. Because it
Get a
doesn't. And I feel like easy. In another year, when you have 10, 20 million followers, you could easily move out to LA, get a Ferrari, get the bitches, all that bullshit. But I feel like that's not you. And I love that.
I appreciate your insight into that in only an hour to see that that's not what I want for my life. And I will let you guys know that I get reached out to on a daily basis, whether it's for The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. The other one was called Love Island UK.
Oh,
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Yeah. He watches all that
I love the
shit,
trash
dude.
TV.
I've never seen him, but I have an agent. I don't have an agent myself, but I have agents reaching out to me all the time to try to get me just mainlined onto these shows. Well, did you know it's this much money if you do it? Did you know you could win this much? Whatever it is. And I forget to tell people all the time that I have, no interest, zero interest in doing this anyone else's way. Like, the whole reason why I left the fucking university that I was at, which was considered to be a prestigious job that I worked for my whole life, which was hard from the world I came from, to get a master's degree and then put myself through school and then get that job that I thought, D1 NCAA coaches rarely in their 20s.
Yes, right.
Rarely in their 20s
Sure.
to get to that level. And then the next question was, do I get to Stanford next? Am I going to try to go to Alabama? Whatever. The school just gets bigger. But you work that whole time for this outside prestige, and it didn't feed me. So the fuck am I going to do to work my way up to something again? Say it's 10 million followers, which I'd be blessed to have that. But if I worked up to that many and then turn around and do the same fucking thing that sold me out in the first place.
Right.
Which was get involved in another broken ass system that just takes your soul out of it. It did the same thing when I got and spent all that time getting a master's degree, and then you get a job and the job steals your soul and you're like, this ain't speaking to me. I'm not helping real people. I'm just helping athletes perform better on the field. That doesn't speak to me. I'm out. I'm not going to keep nose to the grindstone and just, burn myself out on this. So I did something that speaks to me. I'm not going to go turn around and sell that shit back. after all that time. You know what I mean? That's the whole reason I did it, was to have that control and that kind of self-imposing thing. That's why people like you guys motivate me so much, even though I don't interact with the social media space in a real world opportunity like this, even though I'm enjoying myself to hell. But like getting to see you guys do a podcast, which 5 years ago wasn't even a fucking concept.
Yeah.
To be able to do this for a legitimate career, to do this for a legitimate job, and now you guys are doing it. It's the same idea. It's the same idea. Now we're finally in the space where the internet has done something, which is you can make people their own.
But I think
And have
you're-
real
you're-
conversations.
But you're
Yeah.
living the ultimate luxury right now of choice.
Right.
Like most people, if they ever got an email about a reality show, they could not say no to the opportunity. Right? Like most people, like in their lives, don't say no to any opportunities because they're, like you said, they're always looking to like level up just a little tiny bit.
Yeah.
And
But what does the reality show do, bro? It takes away your autonomy to present yourself to the world the way you actually are.
For sure.
You
Yeah.
sell that to somebody, and before you know it, I would be a fucking Brad, because that's how they'd sell me to the world. They'd be like, dude, this dude, because they would just pick the
I don't
clips
know.
they want to pick. And it
You're
would
a Thor.
represent me.
Yeah, that's probably why they want you. By the way, at what age did you realize, like, damn, I'm a Thor? I better, I better hit the gym up. I can't be a little Thor.
I'll start trimming down my answers a lot quicker now since I've gone so long. I'm long-winded. You guys can tell that now. But my mom named me Thorin at birth. That's my first name, Thorin. Everyone who genuinely knows me from childhood or family calls me Thorin.
Oh, nice.
Thoren.
Thorin.
When I got to college and people didn't know who I was, didn't know my background, and they'd say, what's your name? And I said Thorin, and they would say, like Thor? Because the fucking Chris Hemsworth movie had come out.
Yeah, yeah.
And now, of course, they're not going to hear that without being like, and Chris Hemsworth, shout out, dude.
By the way,
Stallion.
it's an
That wasn't
okay-
a dig at you.
It's an okay analogy, by the way.
okay. It's
Oh
not too
man, all these guys mistake me for Thor at college. It was such bullshit, you know.
No, people didn't mistake me for him. I'm not that handsome. But I did get to this place where, like, when I would say Thorin, they would be like Thor, and then eventually it was just like everyone who knew me or met me off the gates would just be, I'm just going to call you Thor. I'm just going to call you Thor. And then I got to a place on social media where I can't explain this shit anymore. Let's just it's like trimming Matthew to Matt.
Yeah.
I just trimmed Thorin to Thor because
Yeah.
it's
There you
faster and easier. But
I like it.
You know, real name is Thorin, so yeah, that's what it is.
But you have a responsibility to be a certain way if your nickname's going to be Thor.
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
there's a responsibility to the public.
You got to continue to live up
Like,
to
like
that.
if you walk up to someone and you don't look the part, you say, "Hey, my name's Thor," and you're like, "Did you nickname yourself? You can't
That's
nickname
the
yourself
worst
Thor,
part.
bro.
Like,
what's your
the
real
worst
name
part.
now?
You can't call yourself Thor, dude.
Yeah.
Damn, it comes across so pretentious if you tell them your name is Thor too, because people are like, oh, he calls himself that? What a chode. What a chode. He calls himself
I'm pretty
that.
sure it's Brad. All right. Yeah. I looked you up. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it's Brad.
your name is really Brad online.
Dude,
man.
I'll tell you this. Whoever's doing the measurements to tell people what a celebrity, I'm not a celebrity, but whatever celebrity's net worth are, they're off. So anyone out there looking.
What does yours say online?
Dude, it says I'm making like $3 million a year.
Congrats.
That's
No,
nice.
don't tell the one. If someone tells the IRS that, I'm gonna be fucked because I'm not making anywhere near $3 million a year. Two, how, dude? Like, who's getting these numbers? I don't know where they're pulling that.
That's
They're
the
just like,
internet.
hey, it must be the estimate based on how many followers he has.
Yeah, for
If I
sure.
do get to that place, then I'll fucking put it up myself and I'll tell you how much.
Hey, just wanted to remind you guys.
that's
by
That's
the
how
way,
much I'm making.
the internet's
Springwood,
really
yeah.
accurate today.
Yeah, for sure.
My man, thank you for coming on the show. This was awesome.
That was rad.
Guys, check out everything he's doing. And by the way, we're excited to see what you are going to come out with in the next
the
year
app,
or so.
Oak
too.
app?
Yeah, go download the app.
Yeah,
Where
don't
can they
even
download
find me
the
on
app?
social media. I'll find you all on social media, I promise.
Where can they download the app?
The app you can find on the App Store or any of the Android platforms. I think it's called Google Play Store. Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right.
So I've never had it, but that's what it is, and it's just spelled OHK,
Nice.
and you'll get all
Easy.
my help there for sure.
I love it. Guys, at the Residency Pod, we'll see you next week.